Some people actually still believe that Trump only wants to deport people who are in the US unlawfully or who've committed crimes, and that could not be further from the truth. The most recent example of this just happened. Let's say you're trying to apply for permanent residence, and on March 3rd, so this month, you submitted your application for a green card, which is permanent residence. You submitted a work permit application and an application for advance parole, which allows you to temporarily travel in and out of the US while your application for permanent residence is pending. This is legal immigration. So you submitted your application on March 3rd, and on March 4th, you learned that the government changed the addition date on Form I-485, the green card application. And normally there's like a 60 to 90 day grace window, but not this time. It was effective immediately, and retroactive addition date goes back to January 20th. So what does that actually mean? On March 3rd, you submitted your green card application with the old addition date. On March 4th, the government, with zero notice and zero grace window, just changed the addition date. Now, USCIS has your outdated I-485 application, and they're gonna reject it and mail it back to you. And that's gonna take 6 weeks. So if you mailed out your green card application on March 3rd, you still don't know what happened to it. You still haven't received a receipt notice. The government still hasn't cashed your government filing fee. And in a few weeks, you're gonna receive a thick envelope in the mail where the government is rejecting your entire application. And guess what? The following day, on March 5th, they changed the addition date of Form I-131, advance parole. Again, zero grace period, zero notice. This is all being done entirely in bad faith with one objective in mind: slow down legal immigration. There is no other reason why the government would issue these new additions with zero grace period, contrary to what every other president and government in US history has ever done. This is a playbook taken directly from Trump's first administration, where they just mess with people who are trying to fix their status. They act like they just want you to do things the right way or legal way, but the truth is, the goal of the Trump administration is very simply to slow down all immigration to the United States. It's very clear. And by the way, these aren't the only forms that were affected. If you applied for a U visa application, the addition date on that form also changed. If you applied for citizenship, N-400, and you used the paper version of the form, that addition date changed as well. Again, zero grace period, zero notice. So if you filed the paper version of the form, you have to wait for it to get mailed back to you. You're out of luck. For people who actually filed the paper version of the N-400, you don't actually have to wait for it to get mailed back to you. You could just go on the USCIS website and file it electronically. I would actually suggest doing that for the majority of people. But it's still a major inconvenience, and you have to ask yourself, why would the government change the addition date of the form with zero grace period? There can be no other intent other than to slow down legal immigration. But I don't get it. What do they actually think is gonna happen? Do they think this is gonna actually reduce the total number of legal immigrants in the US? Like, we mailed out a bunch of green card applications, and now they're gonna get rejected and mailed back to us. And yeah, the clients are gonna be upset, but they understand that it's just the Trump administration messing with everybody. But what I don't get is what the ultimate goal of the Trump administration is. Like, as soon as we get these back, we're just gonna refile them. There will still be the same number of total applications pending. So I don't really get it. You know, honestly, I feel bad for the people who are doing this by themselves, who don't have an attorney who's gone through this before with the prior Trump administration, warning them about all the things that could happen. Before we mail out any application for clients, ever since January 20th, I've told people, like, you know, the Trump administration at some point is just gonna randomly change the additions of all the forms to slow down the total number of legal immigration applications, and we just have to be prepared for that. If that happens, they're gonna mail back your applications. It's gonna take a few weeks to come back, and then we're gonna have to refile it. I apologize in advance for what the US government is gonna do to you while we represent you. And for people who don't have an attorney, it must be really disheartening to do everything the right way and then 6 weeks later to receive a nonsense rejection in the mail with your entire package being sent back. You have to redo everything. They opened your USCIS medical examinations, which must be resubmitted sealed. So now you have to go back to a doctor, get a new medical examination. It's a huge pain, and it's a massive inconvenience and expense for immigrants, and the Trump administration is loving every moment of it. All right, guys, so I know this was a little bit of a rant. I might be venting a little bit here, but brings us to the end of today's video. If you're interested in more family-based immigration topics, citizenship topics, or just stuff related to immigration changes under the Trump administration, be sure to subscribe to my channel. If you personally need any assistance with family-based immigration, specifically marriage-based green cards, petitions for parents, petitions for children, naturalization, this is in my wheelhouse. This is what I focus on. Schedule a consultation directly with me. You can find my information in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time for another video.